My name is Darrell Jordan-Smith. I'm the Senior Vice President here at Red Hat, responsible for our Global Accounts and Industries organization. It is an absolute pleasure to have the opportunity to present to you today and talk to you a little bit about what we're seeing in the marketplace today, specifically around 4 5G network innovations in the marketplace. So at India Mobile Congress, we're 2021, we're really going to be focusing from a Red Hat perspective and looking at the edge of the network. And that's really proliferated and actually been created because of the migration from legacy-based networks or 4G-based environments to a 5G Wi-Fi 6-based environments, where we're seeing a holistic and consistent migration to hybrid cloud solutions. And really what that actually means is that you can develop an application in one person's cloud or a private cloud, public cloud, and actually have them interact together in a consistent set of applications and services, all innovation being built upon the network infrastructure that delivers that high performance, low latency, mission critical, secure network implementation. So we're seeing that this is actually driving the next generation of use cases and examples in the market where significant amounts of innovation are occurring in India. And I'd like to refer to the manufacturing marketplace as just one of maybe 3 examples I'll have an opportunity to talk to you about today. What we're looking at from an industry perspective in manufacturing is using telemetry collected by cameras, by sensors that are all created and deposited in real time in a data hub that enables manufacturing plants in different areas or the same area within a geographic region to create the next generation products and services, lowering its overall cost of production, reducing the ability to misjudge quality and or parts, and managing better logistics and other such things which are particularly important also to our environment, really focusing on actually improving the customer experience through delivering a better product, as well as driving better and more comprehensive revenues as we redesign using 5G Wi-Fi 6 technologies, the plant or factory floor. And we're seeing this as a particularly an innovative area where we're seeing a lot of disruption using machine learning and artificial intelligence through the creation of new applications, which will be cloud native applications that reside in the cloud. And as I said, across multiple clouds in a hybrid based environment. So very exciting developments in terms of what we're seeing in the next generation factory floor. And as we go to a different example, leveraging common technologies in medicine, and looking at actually how we are actually delivering the next generation of medical care. And there are really 2 or 3 different areas here that are worth focusing on. The first one is the example that you see here, where we have high bandwidth, low latency content delivery from the scene of an accident, where a paramedic will actually provide initial service through the telemetry created from some of the devices, the biometric devices, the robotics that occur on the patient, as well as cameras that look at visual recognition software so the individuals can be identified, other biometrics can be collected, communicated back in terms of low latency, high performance network infrastructure through something at the edge of the network called mobile edge compute that can do initial AI and triage on a lot of that data that's going through the core network into the hospital or clinic itself. So as you're arriving in the hospital, the doctors and nurses that are going to be treating the particular patient have a great deal more knowledge on that individual. Saving time often saves lives in providing that interactive service, as well as actually reducing the overall cost of being able to do that, because they're able to put as much of that cost at the edge, where artificial intelligence and machine learning can do a lot of the analytics. So again, really changing the way that we receive medical care. Another example that could be a remote medical office where you're actually looking at x-rays, or you may be going for an MRI or a CT scan. Collecting that imagery, doing analytics on that imagery at the edge of the network within that facility before actually transporting that data back to the core hospital, where you may have a particular specialist looking at that, but also having machine learning and AI through the mobile edge application environment looking at actually analytics on that data so they can actually look and not miss cancers. They can not overlook particular data. They can match that to different data sets. So they can actually provide a lot of intelligence and a lot of information to the doctor or the practitioner as they're treating their patient. Again, improving the service, lowering the overall cost, as well as actually minimizing the amount of errors that potentially could take place in such an environment. So telehealth is a really interesting area where we're seeing a huge amounts of innovation and applications and services being developed. And again, in India, where there's a huge software developer community, a huge focus on actually creating value across the network infrastructure that delivers these next generation applications and services that sit in the cloud, that run on top of the networks that the service providers are actually delivering to customers in these areas, is particularly exciting and important to us here at Red Hat. Then going on to another example I like to use a lot, and that's around education and looking at open source and immersive education. So we're doing a lot of work with a non-profit venture called Kuruki here in the United States, which are doing education from 5th, 6th grade all the way to 18, K1 through 12 as it's known here in the US. We're exporting a lot of this to Latin America and other regions in the world where they want to use open source technologies to share openly learning experiences, more immersive experiences for students. So they can not just look at a textbook, they can actually immerse themselves and get involved visually as well as contextually in the material and the subject matter that they're working on to make it more interactive, more gripping, more holistic in terms of the way that their students want to interact with the content itself. And we're using open source technologies to do that. And the reason we're doing that is because we were working with many different communities that create different code that enable us to create those new applications and services that improve security, innovation, the freedom of individuals to interact with that content and retain that knowledge in an open source community. And at Red Hat, that's core to what we do. We believe that innovation sits elsewhere. Our job is to foster the communities through open source that drive that innovation. And in the telecommunications sense, from India, Mobile Congress sense, is creating an environment that exposes the important elements of a network-based infrastructure to disruption from outside, i.e. the ideas and concepts coming in using open source technology, we believe is a true differentiator for the market overall. And in general, we believe, and we've been able to show, that it improves the level of security. We see better quality software faster. We see increases in code quality in general and contributions. And India, with many, many millions of developers, is a thriving community and a very, very, very big part of what we see in open source technology. So with all of that and those examples that I've shown you, from the manufacturing plant floor through to healthcare, through to education, through to open source, all being built on open technologies that are facilitated using technologies in the telecommunications space around open radio access network, as an example, ORAN, deliver the next generation of services, which are particularly exciting to everyone here at India Mobile Congress 2021. So with that, I'd like to thank everybody for their time and the opportunity to talk with you today, and I hope to be able to see you in person in the very near future. Thank you.